All right, Tara Dower, great to have you back on the show. I think congrats are in order. Win, massive course record, punch the ticket to Western States. When you cross that finish line, is it joy? Is it exhaustion? Is it something else? What were you feeling?
Uh, I don't know. I was just like, ah, I was just stoked. I've talked about this with you before, but it's just like I'm just proving it to myself over and over. Like especially like Black Canyon was a huge confidence builder, especially after the 18, like not knowing if my body would bounce back. And then I had some like pretty big lows this year after that, like the two DNFs that I had. And so that like I think just woke me back up. I was like, oh my gosh, like what if I can't do this? And then I finished this race and a really good result I was not expecting. And I was just like, I was in disbelief, honestly. I remember just like laying on the ground and literally being like, am I dreaming? What is going on? Like all these people around me, I'm like, I have to be dreaming. This is absolutely wild. There's no way that just happened.
It's your word choice there, proving to myself, is interesting because I would assume with a lot of athletes that are as talented as you, it's less a question of internal proof and more so just like showing to the world what you already knew. So you're still in the process of like surprising yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a fun place to be.
And then the other thing I want, like you said, you were like when you come off a DNF, like at Mammoth or at Western States, it's that destabilizing. Like despite all of the other successes you've had in the year, you can feel like you're starting back at square one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a mindset coach, Danielle, and we work through a lot of these things. But I think it's just how I am. These feelings don't last long. I'm confident in my abilities going into a race, but I don't know if I'm like the most confident person on the start line.
Okay. With Danielle, what was the mindset mantra heading into Javelina?
Oh, so many. The main like overarching one, there's like a goal and then there's a mantra. Mantra was we're doing the damn thing. I'm just gonna finish this race because I haven't finished the race. I want to finish. And then the number one goal was to be proud of my effort. That was it. I wanted a golden ticket, obviously. I wanted to win. Obviously, those are like big goals, but the number one thing was like, I just want to be proud of my effort. I want to fuel well. I want to problem solve well. That was the main goal going into it.
I made a list here of at least some of your accomplishments this year. So Lake Sonoma 50 course record, 2 golden tickets, Black Canyon here at Javelina, the Long Trail FKT. Going back into last year, some great, obviously the AT, huge. In terms of personal satisfaction for your career, where does this race performance rank for you and why?
Oh, oh man, that's such a good question. Oh man. I would say it's probably sharing the number 2 spot with the Long Trail right now. AT is definitely number 1. Long Trail was incredible. I can't pick between the two of them. Black Canyon was incredible as well. I think this one though is special because obviously Riley was first at Black Canyon. So I was first here. But not only that, like you can be first and that's great, but it was also a course record. On top of that, I don't like bragging about myself, but this really got me excited. I was really proud of myself for this, but I think somebody said, I think it was under I Run Far said I was the um number 2 fastest woman in North America for the 100 miler after Camille.
And probably the
And
fastest on trail.
yeah, and that was wild because I've I can't even process that. That's so cool. I'm so stoked.
Why is the Long Trail right there as well though?
It's just those mountains are so special. Um like the East Coast, those Northeast mountains, they're so tough. They're so grueling. I slept so little and I really went to I didn't go to a dark place. I went to I just like dug a very deep pain cave hole. I guess you could say. And I just went there. I just tried to push as hard as I could. And it was a really great result. And I worked through a lot of like self-doubt on that as well, just going after a premier route again. And it's such a stout record held. It was such a stout record held by Will Peterson. And
Yeah.
that was so cool to get that record. But this is a completely different thing. Like, it's hard to compare the two. Like, one's such a so technical, right? And then this one's so fast. So they're so different. So it's hard to like pit them against each other.
So Brett and I put out a recap episode last night, and we were openly brainstorming not just about your performance, but across the board. Like, if you look at the entire men's podium, they collectively shaved at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes off the course record. So across the race, there were just these like monumental breakthrough performances. Yeah. I'm sure you can only speak for yourself, but as you're racking your brain for like what was responsible for that, like what do you attribute those breakthrough performances to? Like, what were the key factors?
Oh, I think definitely the weather was optimal. I don't want to say like that was the top thing. I don't know. I think it was just a really good year, and maybe there was like perfect competition on the men's side to like push those paces. And I think Will Murray had so much fire going into this race. I know how he felt. Like, I know that feeling of like getting a golden ticket, being so excited to like race Western, and then just, you know, what was it, a month before he broke his ankle or his leg? And I know that feeling. And so I think we both just had this fire within us, and that really pushed the pace.
I know that one of the mantras was, "You're doing the damn thing." Mm-hmm. At the start line, how ready did you actually feel? Like, if you set aside what eventually happened, the result, like on that start line.
Yeah, I felt pretty ready to go. I had been doing a lot of recovery work. Recovery was like my main focus. After Mammoth, like I just dove headfirst into recovery. And I felt pretty good going into it. I thought like, okay, well, I have some pace goals going off like Riley's pace from last year. I wanted to follow their pace. I think we're very similar athletes in the way we raced 100 milers, and I was going off their pace goals or their pace from last year. And I thought like I could probably do that and perhaps get a golden ticket. And then I thought I could do that, but it just went a lot better than that.
What are
I feel like my brain's still, we talked about this a little bit over text, but my brain's still mush for anyone listening. We're only 2 days removed from the race, and I'm struggling hard.
Hey, you somehow.
But I'm so stoked to talk to you.
Yeah, you somehow always rise to the occasion. I remember I cornered you into doing a post AT interview like 12 hours after you finished.
Yeah, that one was hard too.
You were great
mentally.
So what are I mean, if for those that are curious, what are some of those recovery protocols? Like after Mammoth, even after the long trail, what are you doing to try to get things back on track? Because you don't have that much time. Like, there was still, I mean, you put 87 miles in at Mammoth a month before this race.
Oh my gosh. And those were really hard miles. Mammoth was really hard. From the gun, I was like, oh, my body feels not ready. And like, that's what was so like scary for me going into Javelina, is because I did feel ready. And I was like, but at the beginning of Mammoth, I felt fully ready, like fully recovered to go into this full effort. And then like from the gun, I was like, oh wow, my body is not recovered for this. So I was nervous that it would be the same story from Mammoth. So that's why our mantra was, we're doing the damn thing, because I just wanted to like finish and finally finish this race. Has haunted me. It was my first DNF back in 23. So like recovery looks, I didn't really do a great job of recovering after the long trail. I just kind of dove back into training, and me and Megan had talked about how we would approach this with Javelina coming up and first having Mammoth. So we were talking about how we could like get ready for two very different races. One's high altitude, mountains, a consistent pace, a longer distance. And then Javelina is just like a sprint almost. And so we kind of settled on doing a lot of speed work. But then I really dove headfirst after like it not going the way I wanted it to go at Mammoth. I dove headfirst into the recovery. And what I did for recovery was I talked to Jimmy Elam a little bit. He gave me some advice, and I talked with obviously Megan and Vic Johnson, and we talked about like what I can do to optimize my recovery. I started getting like weekly massages by my friend Danny. He does like really good deep like sports massages, and then like 2 days before the race or 3 days before the race, he gave me a like good, I don't know what it's called, but it's this really specific massage for like getting blood to like go back into the heart and to like oxygenize. I don't know. He told me a bunch of stuff and I just believed that it was going to be great. But I ate a lot of protein and carbs. I ate a lot of food and I sat a lot. I like watched TikToks a lot. I'm a very busy person. I don't need to be busy, but I just like to like run around and I do stuff. I'm constantly on the go. I'm hanging out with friends and I'm never really sitting until the end of the day or until I go to bed. I'm always moving. I just have like this like little hamster brain, right? And so I'm constantly going, but I force myself. You got to sit. You're going to relax. I have these like recovery boots, the Jet Boost by Therabody, and I use those a lot. Yeah, so I use tart cherry juice. I use beet juice, a lot of like natural things, lots of natural foods. Just ate a lot, slept, and I slept 9 hours a night. I would just stay in bed. If I didn't sleep, I would just stay in bed for 9 hours. And that's also weird for me. I don't like sleeping that long.
What was your biggest week of volume time on feet running between Mammoth and Javelina?
I think I did. I'm not exactly sure. I just follow what Megan puts in my log, but I think there's like a long run weekend, 16 one day, 14 the next day. And then just like Monday's rest day. And then I have like a 10 miler and then I have like a 12 miler with speed. And then I have like a 10 miler after that and like 8 and then back into long runs. So that was probably the longest or the biggest volume.
Okay. I mean, I think one of the things that's so impressive to me is like if I go back all the way to before the long trail, I'm guessing you haven't had like a traditional standard 8 to 12 week build for any of these things since at least the summer.
I don't think I've ever had a build like that. I don't think I've ever had a build like this traditional build. I mean, maybe Black Canyon, like the AT, I took a lot of rest and maybe we could say that going into Black Canyon, I had that, but I also got very sick before Black Canyon. And so I had to take some time off for that. But yeah, I haven't really ever followed. I don't think I've ever had like that traditional build.
So you like sort of like the bouncing from race to race and seeing what you can fit in between.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, I guess the nature of the races I have on my schedule and how Megan can kind of like work with that. She's the mastermind with the training. I'm just following what she puts on there. I mean, we've talked about this before, but I just trust the team and my crew and everyone involved. I just follow what they tell me to do.
If we go to the race experience this past Saturday, I think one of the first questions I have for you is, and I know it didn't end up being this way, but in the women's field, did you expect to be challenged? Did you expect to have people running with you deep into the race?
Yeah. I mean, I thought like maybe I'd be sitting in a really good spot like halfway through and I'd be able, Megan always tells me I have good fatigue resistance. So at like mile 60, that's where I kind of like shine. So I thought like maybe at that point I could like make a move. I felt confident in that fatigue resistance. But I didn't think from like the second loop I would be on my own.
Okay. And I mean, that's how it ended up being, right? Like basically from the
Yeah.
beginning, you were time trialing.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought like I would be running more with like Carla and Devin. Those were the two people I was watching for sure.
Do you think that if there was more competition, more pressure, like there was, like you were being hunted, do you think that would have had an even bigger improvement on your finishing time? Or are you someone that just like can get the best out of yourself regardless of context?
I think I could. It probably would have made a big difference because I guess we could get into this later, but I honestly didn't know I was on the course record pace the entire time. Chris Myers was pacing me for the last loop, and he told me with 10 miles to go after that. Like, really, you've paced Brett, right? At
Yeah, I've
Javelina.
survived. I've survived.
The start to like the headquarters to like Jackass is just like, oh, this is such a frustrating section. It's just slow, and it's like you're going so much slower than you think you should, and then you like get that really fun dessert downhill after Jackass. But with 10 miles to go, I think he did this strategically, but he was like, hey, I think you should know, like, this is a really cool thing, but you're like, if you maintain, you could get a massive course record. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, that's so cool.
So when you're going back into headquarters and you're having these conversations with crews after each lap transition, no mention of time, no mention of where you're standing in the race.
We do talk about like where the next lady is.
Yeah.
And I think we had some like, I don't think the timing was correct. I don't know really exactly where Carla was or the second place one. It was Carla for most of the way, right?
For a lot of the way, yeah. I mean, at least into the midway through the third lap, I think.
Yeah, I would like ask them and they would say like, oh, she's 15 minutes, she's 12 minutes. And that's pretty much the only mention I had, the only thing we talked about.
And do you get the sense, because again, this seems like the difference between focusing more on just actual racing than times, do you feel like if you're not paying attention to your watch, that actually puts you in a better position to just race this thing?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think I probably could have benefited from looking at the time and realizing I was in that like position. But who knows? I just like I would check my watch for my pace, just making sure I was like staying like on a good pace. Megan always tells me just run comfortably challenging. Like challenge yourself, but also just like stay within a comfortable space. You don't need to push anything wild, any wild paces unless you feel like it. And so like that was just the mindset the entire time. And for excitement value, I would look at my pace on my watch just to see like what I was doing and stuff. Like most of the time it was like 8, like the 2 laps were like 7 something, and then it was like 8s, and then it was like 8:30s, and then it was like whatever after that, and I was just like, oh, this is so fun. And but I would not check my watch from Javelina headquarters to Jackass because it's just such a frustrating section. You just need to like don't even look at it.
I remember you saying after Mammoth that if that race was 100 miles, you would have found a way to get through it. Like the fatigue wasn't so deep that it was even going to make that an issue. But like if you think about the distance at Javelina, did anything out there cause any doubt for you? Did you have any low points, any places where it's like, oh no, like this is Mammoth all over again?
No, I didn't feel like that at all in Javelina.
Wow. So like basically like no drama out there.
No. It was hard. Like, but they're all hard. 100-mile races in the heat are hard. Like, it's just difficult. So like, yeah, it was tough. Every mile was really difficult, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, the wheels are coming off. Like, I know the difference between like, oh, this is hard. This is why we do it. This is why we race 100-milers. And then like, oh, I am really struggling hard.
Okay. On the fueling side of things, what are you using? What numbers are you trying to hit? How did it work out?
That went so well. I'm so thankful for Vic Johnson, who's my nutritionist. We talked, I think we had like 3 or 4 meetings in the month leading up, and like that's almost like too much. Like he can get everything in like a meeting. But we just like we went over it and over and over, went over sodium. And like, he just reiterated to me, he was like, drink, just keep drinking. I moved, I stopped using like a lot of the nutrition I used most of this year and pivoted to something completely different. I'm using I think it's called Amex drink gels.
Never heard of it.
Amarks. I don't know.
Okay.
They're on the feed. They're drink gels. And then I also use Envervit, the like drink gel with them. I just like something that's just so like liquidy. And those work so well. And I put them in these like flasks, like the gel flasks. And for some reason, mentally, that was so much easier to get down than like opening a package and like shooting 30 grams of carbs. I had 4 gels in one of these gel flasks, and I would get through like 2 gels pretty quickly with the gel flasks. So that was a big game changer. I did about 60 to 75 grams per hour. I also used Precision Fuel, the carbs only drink mix, and then just like did salt pills whenever I felt like a little low, like the low was coming. I did a salt pill first. And then like if it was like continuing, I would do a caffeine pill. I took about 900 milligrams of caffeine and didn't sleep the night after the night of the race. The night after the race. And then barely slept like last night too, because it's probably still my system. Yeah, that was the nutrition. And then just like water, just drink the water. I would just have a flask with me. I had 2 flasks. And then like I had a third one for like other sections. And I would just like hold one and just keep sipping. At one point, every time I pass like another racer, like there's a lot of other racers out there, the 100-milers doing loops and the 100Ks. Every time I passed a runner, I would just like take a little sip, like just like it doesn't even be much, just like a little, put a little bit in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, there's the demonstration. Have you done all the sweat comp and sweat rate testing too? So from like the sodiums? No. Okay,
I should do that though. I've heard that's helpful.
Yeah. How about cooling? Because I saw on lap 5 in the dark, you still had the ice bandana on.
Yeah. I just was like, okay, it's working for me to stay cool, so we should just continue doing it. And actually, the third loop, it got stuck in my hair. And so at Jackass, I had to like open the zipper and just ask the volunteer to like stuff ice in there. And I zipped it back up. It was still stuck in my hair and I tied it. Yeah, cooling protocol. Just, I would stay wet the entire time. I had an extra flask for that like headquarters to Jackass. And that was mostly for cooling. And so I just stayed wet the entire time. Ice bandana. We would freeze like baggies of ice. And so instead of using loose ice that melts faster, you just have this big block of ice. And we'd put that in the pack. There's like an upper pocket on the Ultra Spire Alpha. And so we put that on we put that big ice cube on that upper pocket, and that just like cooled the spine. And, that's just like a lot of points that are going to get you cool. And also drinking water, just like the act of drinking water and getting your internal temperature down is a big benefit as well.
Were there any other gear choices or small details that you felt paid off or gave you like a slight competitive advantage?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think honestly those gel flasks were huge.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, gel flasks for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you're back on the Western States start line next year, and
yeah.
I mean, I think one of the things that I wanted to talk with you about is whether or not anything is going to change in the lead up, because I know that this past year, the reason things kind of went haywire, it was sort of out of your control. You got sick in the week of the race. That's out of your control. That sucks. Besides hopefully staying healthy the week of the race, does this give you a chance to reevaluate any other things that you might do differently?
Yeah, definitely like crewing. I think like this Javelina is a great time to like practice your cooling and your crewing. Me and Reese was the crew chief. She's a crew chief for a lot of like these ultras, and then Rascal's the crew chief for a lot of like FKTs. So me and Reese were driving back, and we were talking last night about like what we could do differently for crewing for Western States, especially with this performance and how well it went. And we were just so efficient with the crew stops. I think that was like a huge part of the win as well. And so I think that's definitely going to be more of a focus out there.
Where'd you get more efficient at Javelina crew-wise?
Oh, yeah. We just like utilize that like big horseshoe. I mean, you can get crewed that entire way. I don't need to carry my pack that entire way. Like, I don't need to stop at the tent, then put my pack on and run like, what is it, a 10th? It's not much, but like a 10th of a mile. Like, it's still like a mental boost to not wear your pack for like such a short period of time.
Yeah.
And then like Rascal would run with me out of the tent and like wear it. And then as we were getting closer, she'd give me my ice bandana, I'd tie it, and then she'd give me my vest and I'd throw it on. Like, it's just utilizing those, like staying within the rules and utilizing like what you can. I think what has kind of like sparked that has made me think more like, how can we utilize this like crewing area is from like my FKTs, because you can be muled during FKTs, and you can, as long as you're self-propelled, like you can be muled and you can have pacers and everything. So I think it's just constantly thinking, how can we get in within the rules? How can we like get ahead? And so I think we're definitely thinking about that for Western States.
If you can talk about some of the ways it could be applied to Western States, like, are there like, is it around Forest Hill? Is it around Robinson Flat? Like, what could be done there?
I need to look at the rules, but I think like the walking, running crew stops will be really helpful. But I think you can only, I need to check Forest Hill. I'm pretty sure you can't just like walk and be crewed. I don't think that is allowed. You have to like be in one spot. So that might not be applicable. We'd have to do more research on that.
Okay. And then how about, well, I mean, I feel like one of the themes earlier in this conversation is just like the risk reward ratio around sort of like stacking your schedule and higher frequency of racing. Does your philosophy around how often you're on a start line or at the beginning of an FKT change in 26 based on what you learned this year?
Wait, repeat the question.
Do you think you'll have a similar schedule in 26 where you're racing pretty frequently, or has your experience this year changed your perspective?
Yeah, I think I love it. I love racing. I love FKTs, and I mean, why I'm in the sport is because I love it. I mean, yeah, like winning would be great. Like doing really well at Western States would be like so great. And I think there's a way to do that and still like get a lot of excitement, doing a lot of cool adventures and races. I mean, it's been working for me so far. So I don't really want to change that. I think the thing that changes like this Javelina performance and with like the golden ticket now, I think it's exciting because I have like half a year to just do whatever I want. So I can like pick and choose races. I kind of still want to do Black Canyon, but after that I can like kind of do what I want. I can use a race to prepare for Western States. I think that's fun to like practice fueling and just race people. I love racing people, really fast people. But no, it's been working for me so far. So I think I would keep doing it.
What else? Yeah, if we're just brainstorming right now, what else could go on the schedule between now and late June besides Black Canyon?
Ooh, oh man. I had to look at schedules. Cocodona. Just kidding.
Wait, no, seriously?
Just no.
No.
Yeah, if Jamil was listening, I didn't mean that. That was a joke.
You know, one thing, they are making such a strong effort to stack that women's field. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, they've been hounding me, and I'm like, no, maybe in a year or so, if I do well at Western. That was the thing for like they were asking me about this coming year doing Cocodona for 26. I was like, if I do well at Western, I would love to, but that's the main focus. So unfortunately I didn't do well. So that's again another focus for 26. But as far as races go, I don't know. I have to look at the schedule. Like something like a fun, fast 50 miler like Lake Sonoma would be fun to do. I kind of want to do canyons, but I don't know if that's like the smartest decision. I've talked to a couple people about that, but I don't know. Canyons looks like so much fun. I would really want to do that.
Yeah. And again, I'm mostly asking this because I feel like it's like the obvious question for any athlete in your position. With that high frequency of racing, do you have any concerns about burnout, overtraining, over racing?
No, I don't think so. Maybe I should be more worried about it.
I don't know. Your fatigue resistance is legendary.
Yeah, we'll keep going with it until it like the wheels fall off. We'll just keep running with it until something happens.
Okay. And then after Western, is there a clear follow-up priority race or project?
Rascal's thinking John Muir Trail. She's gonna crew me for John Muir Trail.
Wow.
We're thinking that. It's still in the works. And obviously every year I keep my schedule open just in case for Hard Rock. The core of my being is Hard Rock. Everything I am is Hard Rock. I just love Hard Rock so much. It's such a spiritual experience, and I will forever be free on that weekend to volunteer, or even better, to race. I got so close this year. But yeah, I'm hoping Hard Rock.
If you had to, and we're sort of getting in just like miscellaneous questions here, if you had to pick an identity in this sport and you were to say like these are my strong suits and this is kind of what I want to be known for, is it this Javelina type stuff? Is it the FKT stuff? Is it the multi-day stuff? Like how would you want to be identified in the sport as an athlete?
A lot of people have been saying, I kind of like this. They've been saying what Caleb said this yesterday when they were interviewing me. Oh, what did he say? He's like multidiscipline athlete.
Hybrid athlete.
Yeah, I don't like to just like be put in this box. When somebody tells me I can't do something, people were really worried about Javelina, and I was like, listen guys, the more you tell me I shouldn't do it, the more I'm gonna want to do it. I'm a little stubborn in that way. But yeah, I don't really like to be put in a box when somebody says like, "Oh, you can't do that. Like you're a mountain athlete or you're a fast athlete." I'm like, "Okay, I'll show you. I'm going to do it." Maybe we'll just see how it goes. I'm going to try.
What's the letter grade you give yourself for this year? If you look at everything you've accomplished plus some of the setbacks, actually maybe the first question is like, how are you satisfied?
Yes, now I'm satisfied. I was very much not satisfied. I did not want to end with what happened at Mammoth. So I'm very satisfied.
Okay. Last question for you. On the content side of things, I was watching the post Mammoth vlog, which I love. I'm a huge consumer of vlogs. I loved yours. It was super entertaining. But you mentioned in that vlog that like you were sort of like going around trying to scrape together pieces of content for like who was out there that maybe got footage of you. And like, when can we get like a full-time content person at your side to like make all these vlogs and movies and stuff? Like,
oh man,
when
I would
ultra hire Emily Cameron or something. What's going on?
Yeah, I would love that. I need to text Emily. She's great. I mean, when she does my like race Instagram stuff on races, she does a great job. Yeah, it's gotten to the point where I didn't even bring my phone during Javelina. Every ounce counted. I wanted to carry as little as possible. I carried 9 pounds at the start of Mammoth, and that was probably contributing to the feelings of like fatigue. So a big focus was like getting the weight down as much as possible. So I mean, I used to vlog a lot of my races, all my races, and now it's just like I can't do that anymore. I need to focus on racing, and so I didn't bring my phone. So I would love to have like a full-time content person. That would be so fun.
Well, here's to hoping it happens at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, always appreciate chatting. Congrats again on Javelina. I love your sentiment there around like, if I see it in the public sphere that people are doubting something, it gives me a little bit extra fire to prove them wrong. Like I love that. I think it's great for the sport. And
Yeah, as much as I love that you had confidence in me, it was kind of like exciting to read all the other like predictions and people would be like, "Oh, whoa."
oh
Like
yeah,
not that like I'm not ready, but it was more like, "Oh, these other people are like going to be more ready than Tara." And not that they were saying that, but I was just like, "Oh, I'll show you. I'm going to be ready now."
is actually okay. Last question is kind of monitoring that stuff on social media. I can see how for a lot of people it could be toxic and like it can leave you feeling pessimistic, whatnot. But is it a good source of energy for you or motivation?
Yeah, I actually deleted the Instagram app off my phone for the entire last month and wasn't checking any social media, and it was
Incredible.
amazing. I would like post because you have to
Yeah,
post to
yeah,
stay engaged, have your
yeah,
engagement up, whatever.
yeah.
And so I'd post and then I'd delete it. I just delete the app. So yeah, it kind of is good for me to like stay off, especially after such a sensitive like DNF at Mammoth. Um, but like for people, I mean for your podcasts and a couple other like predictions, it is fun to look at it and just get a little bit like, ooh, I'll show you guys.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, like people, I sound like I'm like upset with them, but I'm not. It's just like they're they're using the information they have,
Yeah.
right? And like Devin is a great athlete and Carla is phenomenal. All these women I race against are phenomenal. So like it was really anyone's race. I
Yeah.
understand that, but for me it's like, oof, okay, let's go.
Yeah, I know on the media side of things, like unless we're there on the ground with you in Durango, or if we
Mhm.
have like privileged access to conversations pre-race, whatever, we have Strava to go off, maybe some
Mhm.
vlogs, maybe some ultra sign up race history. It's limited. So you are making
Mhm.
some like stretch guesses as to who can show up.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys make pretty good guesses though. I
Hey,
like
I picked you to
y'all's.
win. I got to do my victory
I
lap.
know. It's like, okay. I was it Black Canyon? I think it was Black Canyon. I think we texted about this, about your predictions for that. And I was like, ooh, I'll show Finn.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think in a lot, like, I think there, if we want to get into sort of like the trail performance of the year criteria and we want to just get a little bit deeper about it, if, I think the voters hopefully appreciate the turnaround that is required to go from an ATFKT to a Black Canyon podium and golden ticket in whatever it was, 5 months. To me, that should be present on people. That's an incredible, I almost think that performance is more impressive than Javelin in some ways because of the turnaround that was required to change systems.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I had that 50K was really a big confidence booster as well. I had in
Yep.
Virginia Beach before that. Um but yeah, that was something else, huh?
Yeah.
I think it helped, honestly. I think people are missing out by not doing these large FKTs, these huge multi-week FKTs. Maybe it's just like I found the secret sauce. Maybe more people need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it reduces perceived exertion effort in all other areas of life when you've done 2,200 miles a push. And what's 100 miles? What's 200 miles?
Yeah. Yeah, not much.
All right, Tara, great chatting. Thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Finn.